Hi, Professor. It's Eva. So, starting off with Socrates or Socrates. By this point, you should know that I have bad pronunciation. But starting with the book, the one thing I got from the entire page and a half was that he questioned anyone's beliefs, and he questioned them till they felt basically dumb. He didn't care if you were just a random person on the street or a leader, which eventually got him killed. In respects to ethics, I think with questioning the people that he questioned, he wanted to see what their beliefs were and how they were morally and ethically. And what I do agree or like about him is how he did the public exposure. According to the book, he would question leaders in front of like town meetings or like in front of a bunch of people, and he would question their morals and what their beliefs were, whether they believed in the right God or another God, which was in that time that they were worshiping God. And then what I also did like about him is that no matter how much money you have or um how much fulfillment you had like in life, like whether you were a rich, wealthy man, um, it didn't matter how much money. It what mattered was how worthy you were. If you were a good person with low income or didn't really have anything, but you were a good, ethically, morally person, you were worthy of something, and you were good in the afterlife. So what I got from the reading of the book and the lectures is that he was a question person. He questioned everything, and that a, a human or a person should first examine themselves and examine their beliefs before they determine that if it is good or bad. So moving on to Plato, what I got from the book is human potential, human happiness, the word of justice not meaning the same thing as it does today, but differently. Rewards and punishments with morals, ethically. So I'll get into that later during your lecture. And what I really got ethically was karma. When he gave the example of the city. In a way, what I got from that is if you want something right away, but you don't do it the correct way, um, eventually it will catch up to you. So I always use the example of cheating. If you keep cheating on an exam or assignments, and when it comes down to the actual thing, you're not really going to know what to do. Now, what I did get in terms of ethics from the lectures was the three goods that were valued. So the first one explained how the desired for their own consequences, but undesirable for themselves. Ethically, you want to go to the doctor to get yourself checked, but some people are scared to go to the doctors, but they'll still go. The second one being desirable for their own sake, regardless of the consequences. Now, this is where I think ethics and morals are conflicted, because one of the examples that you did use was the desirable to drink, smoke, and go out. Well, it's desirable to drink, but one of the consequences would be drinking and driving. Going forward with Aristotle, something that he mentioned was acquiring virtue. It was mentioned in the lecture that it was through practice, that through practice we see what is good and what bad habits that we need to take away. And it was also mentioned that when a child is growing up and they're chewing on something that they're not supposed to be chewing on, you keep telling them no, no, until they finally get it. Um, Although what I am conflicted with Aristotle is when he mentions having a good life is required in order to attain true happiness. This is where I'm conflicted, because sometimes people don't have the luxuries of um, attaining things or having things for comfort and having a thriving family. And then it was mentioned leading a good life, which is being honest. That's where I'm kind of ethically confused, where how to get true happiness when sometimes people don't have the tools to get to true happiness.